The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
Detroit, it's time. It's playoff time, Detroit. Let's go to work.
Shout out Detroit. I got to buff up, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, I'm all the way in. Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
What's up, Pistons fans? It's the Buff Time Podcast once again, coming at you. Pistons won a game. The week is big. The week is up. Me, myself, Coni, Gabe, and Vali. No Amit today, under the weather. But this is a good week for the Pistons, and we got to talk about it, rain or shine. So we'll get right into it. We got a little bit of talking about Duran, a little bit of trade packages either coming in or taken out. You know, I feel like the Pistons at least see themselves as one of either. And Gabe bringing his top three prospects looking at the next year because it's about time to do that because we're not going anywhere. So where y'all want to start? Duran dominance, or y'all want to just talk about that win?
I kind of want to start the trade we had today.
Oh, of course. Sorry. Take it away, Valley. Take it away.
Well, one of our three potential targets for a trade was Pascal Siakam, 29 years old, about to be 30, entering a free agency year. He was actively linked in trade talks, and today, kind of out of nowhere, we got a trade with Indiana. And after that Gobert deal, after the new CBA, there were a lot of questions about how those deals for big players would look with the amount of picks that they have. But we kind of found that out. The Indiana Pacers sent 3 first-round picks to the Toronto Raptors, 2 in 2024, which I don't understand, by the way. I don't know how that other pick works. And then also a deal in 2026 and ex-Piston Bruce Brown's going up to Toronto. Man, I was one of those teams, or we were one of those teams interested in Siakam. I'm really glad we didn't end up giving away something like this for him. This is not to knock on Siakam. He's a really good player. I don't think he would have been a really good fit here, but I do find this trade interesting because it sets the bar for other trades. The Pacers gave away one of their own first-round picks, another one, and then another pick. So 3 total picks and Bruce Brown to get in an all-star player. If that's what it's going to take under this new CBA, albeit these are certain circumstances under Siakam, I think the Pistons are going to be in a pretty good position to potentially land someone in a trade here in the upcoming months because I think Weaver's going to be, for once, he's going to be a busy guy. He's going to be doing something before that February 8th deadline.
Siakam,
Yeah, he is expiring. I don't know if you're about to bring that up. That's why his price was so low. He said he's not going to re-sign to the team that trades for him. He's going to test free agency. So I'm excited for the Pacers now, though. They're a real team. They needed him pretty bad, and now there's like 6 teams down the East that could come out of the East potentially. It's exciting to see, and I'm glad we don't have them. Like you said, Valley.
Is Indiana one of those teams for you coming out of the
saying
East?
that Indiana is a competitor to win the East now?
They can get to the second round at least. I'd say they can cause some trouble with any team. Yeah, they can score.
Yeah, I love this deal for Indiana because I think I'm no cap guy, but the team that has them before their free agency definitely has an advantage in how much they can pay, and how much they can give to that player. So I mean I love it, and then you just let Pascal Siakam have some taste of some Tyrese Halliburton offense. I feel like offensively he fits in so well. Um, he scores in sort of like those in between places. I feel like the Pacers offense is very much just like Halliburton. You run a screen and roll. There's shooters everywhere, and he passes it out. Like when it gets down to it, playoff time, things can be planned against. But like you throw in like a Pascal Siakam who's getting buckets from at this point, like he's hitting the 3-2 everywhere on the court pretty well, and in like unusual ways. Uh, Not to mention his defense, which they desperately need. I love this trade for the Pacers, and I'm kind of pissed off about it because even as the Pistons, try to, I mean, if we ever, maybe the Pistons will be bad for the whole Pacers run, so it doesn't really matter. But as another team in their division, I'm upset about this because if they get the re-sign on Pascal with the team they got going, they kept all their young guys in this deal. Uh, it might be a run for Indiana.
What's your expectation?
Expectation, tough first round series, maybe second round. But then like down the road, I'm high end this year. I could see them making the Eastern Conference Finals in a Hawks type run if like the shots are all falling and things are groovy. Who knows? But that's enough talking about things that aren't the Detroit Pistons. Let's get right into it. The Pistons won a game. They beat the Washington Wizards, the other rat team in the NBA, on their home court. Got them back for our last humiliation. And there were some really cool games in there. Duran had a fantastic one. Alec Burks tied his career high. Where do you guys want to start?
Alec Burks, yeah, because
Alec
this guy
Burks
has been on a heater the past, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Like he just can't miss the three. Wizards decided to leave him open for every shot, which helped a lot. If he weren't hitting those, we would have lost that game, I think.
for sure.
Hey, yeah, like he kept us in it. I think it's time for him to start and a certain Killian Hayes to hit the bench and never play again. Because I think hand in hand with that, Jaden Ivey needs to run point guard and just like, just have the ball in his hands and just score because we can get points up when Killian isn't playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like Killian's even looking to shoot the ball though.
I mean,
If anything, his main concern is just finding teammates. Why wouldn't that work better with Ivy? Yeah, he took 4 shots.
Yeah.
He airballed the mess out of that one. But like he's getting in these spots where he would usually take a stupid mid-range and he's just passing out to like a slightly contested Kevin Knox today, which is a higher percentage shot. Well, that's just an example. I feel like he's just passing up more for the sake of his teammates, and I think he's realizing that they're higher percentage shots. And I thought it's been pretty okay since Cade was out, but I do have something to say about him.
What do you have to say about
his defense has been really bad. He dies on screens so often now where he just gives up. And if you're passing on the Pistons to a Kevin Knox 3 that's contested and that's a better shot, yeah, maybe
whoa.
should not be
Gabe,
playing.
but before we go any further, Gabe, I think we need to apologize to
my
Kevin
man,
Knox on this
Kevin Knox.
podcast right now.
Yeah, I actually wrote, so I have no apology for Kevin Knox. He's not good.
Really?
He just seems good because you compare him to Isaiah Livers.
No, he seems good because he's hitting, like he hits the 3. Like he shoots the 3 and it goes in. He's not more than that. But when like what? Now I gotta look up Kevin Knox numbers.
36% from deep.
36% from deep, and he's tall. And he had some nights. We got like 4 for 8, 3 for 8. Like he hits a couple threes a game. Like that's a valuable-ish shot. Now he's better than Livers. He's not a great NBA player, but like since the last time he was on the Pistons, his jump shot is better. Right? Like his jump shot was not his last time around. He's clearly done something. Maybe he's just hot for this part of the season, but I think if he shoots like this, he's a semi-valuable. Like he's an all right player. Not like he doesn't do any like. I don't want him. He can't dribble the basketball. He's like a mid defender. He's long. He can run out. If this team ever decided to use its athleticism, he could run. All right, sorry, but no hate on Kevin Knox, man. Passing to a Kevin Knox triple, good shot.
Especially if it's a Killian Hayes mid-range jump shot. And guys, let me cover my face for this. I've been on this Killian way for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
I'm out.
You're out?
He sucks. He's so bad at basketball, man.
Oh, no.
This isn't to mention he has some all right qualities. I'm not going to lie, but they never come to light, never for a prolonged period of time. Him airballing that floater in Washington really sealed the deal for me, man. I don't know, dude. I feel like I've denied it for so long. I've tried to see through it, see the optimistic points, but it's getting hard to do, man. Every single three-pointer he takes, which is like once every 50 games now,
Like,
if it gets to the rim, I remember I don't even know when it was. It feels like the last three-pointer he took was a wide open catch and shoot in the corner. I think he airballed it. He might have skimmed some rim.
Yeah,
I
and then
laughed.
Greg said, "Oh, that's a tough shot."
He came right off the bench, man. He came right off the bench. It's a tough shot. I laughed really hard in that game right there because Killian Hayes checked back in, and a fan, he couldn't have been like more than 10 years old. He goes, "Oh my God, it's Killian Hayes, my favorite player." I thought that was really funny. Um, but I'm out. I'm out, guys. I'll start Burks. I'm
yeah,
out. Give me Sasser minutes.
I
It's
know
official.
people don't know this. This is really sad because Valley, when he plays basketball, the two players he like people yell like Kobe or Curry. Valley he plays like Svi Mihailuk and Killian Hayes when he's like Killian Hayes defense, Svi Mihailuk. So this saying that he sucks, man, that's it's big. It's about time.
Not to
Yeah, he's doo doo.
not to mention his jersey's right
Yeah,
up next to me on
his
a hanger right
jersey
here.
hung up on the wall, man. That's rough.
So times are tough right now. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but it's about moving past this, it's realistic. He's not an NBA player. He's not gonna be on this team next year. I'm looking forward to the future of this team.
Yeah, and I think one of the main guys is Jalen Duren, like you mentioned earlier, Connie. Like against the Wizards, I thought he was just like he was special. He was doing like coast to coast takes, some passing, some handles. Like
Hmm.
this guy, he's 20 years old, and I like forget that at times, and he's already such a perfect like fit as that athletic five, and he has so much more skill that I think he'll untap once he slows down and understands the game more. I think this guy's gonna be really, really special.
Yeah. There was one play where I don't remember the guy. I'm trying to look up the highlight right now. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. He takes the ball coast to coast. When he gets half court, there's a defender behind him, and he intentionally goes in front of him to put the defender on his hip so the guy can't run by. Like
You learned that from Cade.
that's the point guard move right there.
That's the Jordan Poole on his hip.
Jordan Poole. Well, not that hard. I mean, it was the Wizards.
Yeah.
Not hard to make look silly on the defensive end, but no, you got to say like this guy's still 20. He's younger than a lot of rookies coming in right now. He's got so much like skill and game. Like there was a couple games back, I'm reminded of this where he set a screen and he had the ball in a live dribble and he kind of went like through his legs back right into a pass, avoiding the
Yeah.
defender's hands. Like, and that's just game right there. Like that's just like that's just being good at basketball. And I'm looking forward to seeing it unlock. Now there's still deficiencies, He's a
Yeah. He's
for a
still
guy as
turnover
athletic
prone.
as him. There's a lot of like zero zeros in the steals and blocks categories. When you look at when you run through the box scores, there's a lot of zero 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 zero. Like points, rebounds, assists. Yeah, not a lot of those defensive stats racking up, which I know is not everything, but you know,
No, yeah, but I think that's the easiest thing that will just grow as you learn basketball, NBA. And Connie, I think you shared that stat in the group chat a few days ago, and Valley called it just like
hmm,
what like
garbage stats, garbage time stats, or something.
which stat? What was that stat? Do you remember it?
It was like through the beginning of January, he was the second most efficient offensive player, like scorer. Which
Yeah,
I mean,
since coming back from his ankle injury, 11 I think 11 games ago, he's averaging 16, 12 and 3 assists, shooting almost 69% from the floor, and the most important, 82% at the free throw line. He has some touch, especially on those floaters too. He had last night over what's his face? They're
Gafford.
yeah, over Gafford. He has some nice touch.
He had that one pass right into the pivot reverse lay and one.
It,
Uh, He had another tough reverse layup, like off
the high
underneath
glass.
the basket,
Yeah.
off the high glass. Like that's why he's not Andre Drummond, because like he takes the same sort of like weak ass Andre Drummond takes sometimes that like we would get mad at, with like a flick reverse layup. But he's getting like he scores it and he makes the layup. He's got fantastic touch around the rim. He's got some real interesting finishes. Uh, Sometimes where he's got the ball in his hands and he's like when he attacks the basket, I feel like a lot of the time if it's in a fast break and the defender walls him off, it ends in that sort of like fadeaway
Yeah,
hook.
he doesn't go into the contact.
Yeah, and he misses that a lot. Now if he starts making that shot, GG.
He shouldn't take. He should just go
It's just
through
like a
there.
tough shot. Or he just like finds a couple different moves to finish, which I believe in because he's got good footwork, and I believe in his ability to like get those moves down as he learns the attack. Yeah. All right. Uh, Anybody else? Oh yeah, Jaden Ivey I think deserves a shout. Uh, I think he's been real nice as the point guard recently.
Yeah,
Surprise, surprise. The
It's
super athlete is good when you don't fucking just camp him out in the 3-point line.
shout out to Monty Williams owning up to his mistake and saying he realized Ivy's good on the ball.
Shout out
Sarcasm in that.
shout out to the assistant coaches that got him to realize that.
I think it was a pretty glaring sight the whole time, but he's looked really good as the primary ball handler. And like you said, Gabe, hopefully we can get Alec Burks starting in there. Although I just don't see it happening. I think Monty likes Killian too much. I think he'll still be in there, but excited for his growth. And then the most interesting part will be when in the near future when Cade Cunningham returns. Then you can hopefully really unleash him. Now you fully unlock this. No more excuses. How are they going to work together? Bojan's going to be back. Gallinari's now in the team. So is Muscala. Some new faces out there. How's it going to gel together? I don't know, but it seems like almost like another chance, like almost like some sort of a fresh slate for Monty with the new players coming in, with Ivy now being on the ball. Some room for optimism, I think.
Like I can't wait to throw out a stat in a couple weeks that's like since we were 3-36, we are, and then some sort of slightly better record. I think we're gonna rack up a couple dubs here, and by a couple, I do mean a couple. Like, I think we're hitting double digits
in the season.
in the season. I think we're hitting double digits.
Woo!
That's a big prediction, I know, but I don't think this is going to be the worst record of all time.
15.
In the East?
15 wins.
Oh.
Over under 14 and a half.
So we're 4-36 right now. We have 42 games left.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the season.
We go 11-29.
I'd hit that over.
I'm gonna lightly tap that under.
Because another thing that I think will go into the future that we saw yesterday or 2 days ago was when Livers isn't playing and Asar Thompson is, we're a better basketball team. Asar is just a good player, and he had Patrick Baldwin on him, who is somehow slowest person I've ever seen, and Asar just went to the rim, just attacked him, and they couldn't stop him. He is I want him to start over Killian if need be, but please just play Asar. Let him run on ball. There's no harm. If he turns it over, so what? If Duran can handle, let Asar handle. Put him small ball 5 on lineups. Just try some things out because this guy can play. And that thing we said, addition by subtraction, I think might really be true here.
Yeah. And addition by addition, Asar, I think is going to be one of the big beneficiaries of this trade. You're taking out 2 non-shooters in Livers and Bagley, and you're replacing them with 2, career solid shooters, spacers at least, guys that other teams sort of respect from the 3-point line. Uh, could have some fun things happen. Asar's a roller. I want to keep. I want to see it. I want to continue
Yeah.
to see it. It seems like it ends in a layup or a dunk often when it does happen.
You hear that one really nice like bounce to Stu late in the game?
Hmm
That was really smooth.
He just like he's a fun player. Like he
He's a
sees the
connector.
game. He's a good connect. Like that is his absolute strong suit. He sort of sees the game a pass ahead sometimes. Like he knows where the ball should go, and like the guy's not getting him there, so that he gets it there. Uh, he's quick with it. Decisions are fast. Jump shot is awful, but if we put all other shooters out there, it could be some Asar time.
Yeah, I'd love to have a start with Killian. But you mentioned Stu. I'd be damned if we didn't talk about Stu for at least 1 second here. Since returning from that toe injury, he's looked really darn good. Shooting threes at a high rate, almost no hesitation. But then you see the other side of it when he played small ball five to secure the win in Washington. Had a couple monsters and ones, a couple of big blocks. Looked really good in that game. He's looked like Stu. You know, he's been really, really solid. And I just want to give him a little shout out.
Yeah, I take back everything I said about trading him. I want to keep him on the roster.
And just, I don't know. I mean, I agree, but he's got the funkiest layup package in the league. It just looks like a guy who doesn't play basketball. But I mean, he went up for that up and under reverse. Just went straight up in the air. But then, then like you said, like he got two late and ones, huge possessions, like high glass finishes, tough finishes, and it's just kind of unorthodox. But he has been shooting the three quicker, and with defenders on him, and I think doing a little bit of a bogey impression where he doesn't dip, and it's like just a little bit higher all the way through, and he just shoots right over the guy in front of him because he's 6'9" with like a 7'5" wingspan, and that ball's just really high, and so the defender doesn't actually matter. Uh, yeah, I liked how Stu played in Washington. Not everything against Washington, but looked all right.
Last thing about that game, I read a Wizards writer he just made like a hate piece on the Wizards pretty much of just how like depressing they are. He had one line about James Wiseman. He said, "When half dead, big doofus James Wiseman looks more energetic than your players, there's a problem." I just thought that was a really good line.
It's just mean, but he's got to be next, right? We're talking okay on James Wiseman and on some other guys in this team. I want to talk about Pistons trades and like, should we be buyers? Should we be sellers? What are some like realistic packages you see for guys on this team, or Burks, Bojan? How do you want this team to move in the coming weeks?
Vali, you want to take it first?
Well, realistically, I expect a lot of moves. I haven't changed my mind here on anything. I think Cade, Dern, and Asar are your only guys you really can't touch. Again, like I said in the pod, I have a little bit more renewed optimism for Jaden Ivey with the way we're potentially going to use him in the future. So I'd be a little bit more reluctant on him. So those four guys. But other than that, I'm more than willing to move anybody on this roster. And that isn't to say those four guys are untouchable. If the right offer comes for any single one of those guys, I'm taking a strong consideration on them. Because we're a 4-win basketball team. We're a terrible basketball team, no matter how you look at it. So yeah, moves. I think Burks' expiring deal, Morris' expiring deal, Harris' expiring deal. I'd be surprised to see those guys still here. Our two new acquisitions, Gallinari, Muscala. I'd honestly be surprised to see both of them there. I think Wiseman stays just because of the lack of the market for him, unless we end up waiving him or something, which won't happen. But if I put in a list, I'd probably have Wiseman up at the top, Joe Harris as my top two guys to move.
Yeah, I agree. It's just you'd have to look for a team that you're just trying to match like salary with, because they're net negatives in a large part, except that they're expiring.
Who are the
Um,
positive contracts that we could
On our roster.
Mhm.
but Bogey and Burks, I think, are the
Bogey and
positive contracts. But
Yeah, that's
and
about it.
Stu, but I think we should move Bogey because he's not the answer at the wing long term. Like we already see that this season he's a lot slower than he was last year. He can still shoot and he's still a valuable piece, but a team like the Lakers, the Sixers, or like a team like that, like they could really use him. I think we should move off of him and then draft a wing in the upcoming draft, which I'll talk about later. And then Alec Burks.
I got a guy.
Alec Burks, I low-key think we should keep because no one else can score on our team, and you just need a scorer. Like he's not gonna fetch like unless the team like throws like a nice first at us. There's no reason to move off of him. Um, Other than that, I think we could like we went through the names last pod. If there is like if Jeremy Grant is available, if a big wing like that is available, yeah, let's go try to throw some at him, but we don't have that much to trade is the problem.
Yeah. I think it was Burks and Bojan. And we're all saying we're sellers, right? Nobody's
Yeah.
buying. Nobody's going for a Gordon Hayward the wing trade.
No.
Then let's talk about how this team can actually improve. Gabe, you got prospects?
Yeah, this draft isn't like doesn't have star potential, but there are some guys that I think fit pretty well with their team. So I have three early prospects here that aren't necessarily the three best players in the draft, but I think the three best fits on our team. In no particular order here. Cody Williams, he's a 6'8" wing, just an all-around player. He's kind of a jack of all trades.
Brother of
Yeah,
Jalen.
exactly. He's the younger brother of J-Dub, who is just a really, really good player. He has the work ethic, and he just gets better every year. So I'm high on him. And he plays college, so there's still a decent amount of season left for him to see. And then the guy I'm actually highest on, Zachary Rissarche. He's
Rizichet?
another French. He's another French player, which is understandably
No thanks.
it's a touchy subject for Pistons fans. He's 6'9". He shoots like lights out, close to 50% from three, and he has such a smooth stroke. He's a decent defender. He has all the tools, and I really like his fit on the Pistons. Of course, he's French, so who knows? And then last guy, he doesn't really fit, but it's Alex Sarr, number one pick in the draft, probably 7'1", really like versatile, big, insanely good defender. Already, he can handle, he can pass, he can kind of start to shoot, but it's not there yet. He's the best player in the draft. It's just like a question about fit, but like at some point, you just got to pick the best player. If the other guys are like, if they don't hit. So yeah, those are my top three guys. Do you have anyone else you're looking at?
I mean, off rip, I'm not looking at Alex Sarr. That guy shoots. He doesn't hit layups. He's like a 40% layup shooter or some shit like that. Big, but
Yeah, it's a weak draft, but
um,
he's like Evan Mobley a little bit, I think.
yeah. I'm looking at Matas Buzelis. The G League Ignite is awful. I tried to watch one of their games and it sucked. They don't have a point guard. It's all the same guys just looking to boost their draft stock. It's bad. It's a bad development system, but I think Buzelis is good. 6'8", big guy, shooter, can make another like sort of connective sort of playmaker. Just I think someone with the skill set the Pistons need offensively, and someone that can like dribble, like attack weak side, secondary, tertiary playmaker. I mean, my number one guy is also Cody Williams. You know,
Buzelis reminds me a lot of Franz Wagner. They both they play a lot alike, I think, and he's a great player.
yeah, he's in that Franz Wagner. Who was the guy in the Lakers? Lamar Odom.
Yeah,
That vein of player, which I very much like. But yeah, I didn't realize Rizzo was that kind of shooter either. But
yeah.
he's not much of a dribble guy, is he?
No, he's just shoot. But I think that's what this team could really use, just a scorer.
All right. Michael Porter Jr. type.
Yeah, exactly. Valley, do you have any draft intel?
Opinion.
No, I always stay away from the draft. I even these last few years, I've never been like a heavily invested guy in the draft. Who was Jalen Williams' brother?
Cody
What's his?
Williams.
Oh, that's funny because you know Olivier Sarr in the Thunder. His brother's Alex Sarr.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. No, I don't have any input. Sorry.
A little bit further down the draft. If I don't know, they're not going to swing a second lottery pick, but Reed Shepard out of Kentucky.
He's just good.
White, yeah, TJ McConnell build, but like he's just a dog. And he's smart and he hits threes, hits shots, doesn't turn the ball over, and plays
Really good defender.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right. Looking up at the week ahead, I guess, or do you have anything else to talk about before?
Oh yeah, I got one more thing. I don't think Marcus Sasser is good, and I don't think he's going to be good. And I'd rather see Killian than
What? What?
Dude, he took two floaters in that Wizards game, and both of them like sailed a mile over the hoop.
Yeah.
Threes. Like I feel like he does not get a lot of threes up, even when he's like open. Doesn't
He
really.
rocks side to side consecutively, seeming like to wait to either drive or take that step back. He's quite comfortable in.
Yeah, I need him to be like a catch and shooter, but more threes, more. I don't know. I just don't really feel his impact out there, and I don't think. And he's like defense, he tries, but he's small, very strong. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be a. I think he's gonna be a Darun Hillard of the future. You remember
Daroon
that?
Hillard.
I think
Sweet
that was
Daroon.
maybe a miss in the draft.
What jersey number did Daroon Hillard wear?
I don't know, man. Ask Amit.
Number 6.
Actually, that does feel familiar. All right. So yeah, week ahead. Pistons schedule. What are we looking at?
We're looking at Minnesota tonight. Milwaukee on a back-to-back.
They are on a back-to-back?
No,
No,
both
we
games
play
will
them
be in
Saturday
Detroit.
and then Monday.
Oh. Wahoo.
And then after the back-to-back against Milwaukee, we face the Charlotte Hornets before a 3-day break.
All right.
I'm gonna call 1-3 here. I mean 1-4 here. 1-3, excuse me.
1-3. I agree. 1-3.
Yep, same. I think we're gonna get smoked tonight by the Wolves.
Oh yeah, they're like they're just gonna block everything. Oh man, I'm tuning in though. I'm hyped. You guys think there's gonna be do you think prediction? Do you think the Pistons will win 2 games in a row this season?
Actually, if you look one more game after the Hornets game, we play the Wizards again. So if any time, it's right there.
That would be it. I would bet no.
I don't know. I think we'll take Milwaukee down back-to-back.
That's true. Actually, I feel like I feel like the reverse streak starts now.
My if I could leave the fans here with a sense of optimism to close out the podcast. Um, Look at those Lions, man, and look at the season they had last year and the way they started that season. I see similarities with our season. Started terrible despite some rather higher expectations. Almost abysmal, almost embarrassingly bad at a point. Actually, embarrassingly bad at a point. However, there was a point where they turned it around and they carried that into the rest of the season and into this next season where they currently are at now, into the second round of the playoffs. So my optimism here is to finish this season out strong, especially in spurts, carry that into the next season, and then we make noise next year, just like the Lions.
The Lions ended what?
After
They
starting what, 0-8? Different season, way shorter. The way they started that season was horrendous, and now they're doing their stuff. And I'm hoping we can build off of that and have a similar path to success.
yeah. All right, the Lions. How bad did they start?
I'm sure a lot of our fans are listening. Probably no.
Yeah, that's on us.
And
But they
also
were
before
like
we
good, like well above 500 for the latter half of that season.
Lions-esque season, you can't really compare an 82 games. It's different. It's different.
So you think they get to 15?
Yeah, why not? Give me 15.
Big ups.
Pick up to 15.
Big
And
ups,
then man,
Piston.
just to final, like, hey, go Lions, man. Go Lions. Big game against the Buccaneers. Um, the Detroit sports community is all rooting for you. And certified, you have the Buffs on pod, support Detroit Lions.
And that's going to be the difference. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Buffs On podcast. We are always hoping for a Pistons dub, but never expecting it.